What that means. Yes, I can hear. So, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Gloria. For those of you who are new, I live in the province of Ontario here in Canada, and I love to share information to newcomers who are looking to move to the country and also to settle, and tips and everything you need to know about moving to Canada and settling in Canada. So today I have my amiable Amy Ding in the building. Yay!
Hi,
And
everyone.
for those of you who are new to the country, this would be a very interesting. This would be a very interesting topic today because we're talking about rent to own a home in Canada. Renting a home is one thing, and owning a home is another thing. And that is why I have the expert who is going to talk and share more information for new comers who are looking to buy their very first home, those who are renting right now and looking to own that home. Amy is the subject matter expert on this. And in a little while, we're going to open the floor to questions and answers. So please feel free to leave questions in the comment section and tell a friend to tell a friend and let everyone else know that we're talking about this program. It should interest a lot of newcomers. So please let them know about this. So without further ado, you're wondering questions are going to be answering are things like who is eligible for the rent to own program? What is the rent to own program? How do you qualify for the rent to own program? You know, and stuff like that. So let me not do much of the talking and give the opportunity for our own Amy Ding to introduce herself. So, Amy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Gloria, for having me here. And hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be spending the time here with you guys and share more about what we do at Requity Homes. I'm the founder and CEO. About 10 years ago, I personally had a challenge getting a mortgage just because I was on a work permit. The lenders actually required me to have 35% down. It was very stressful experience, and now I'm starting on the company with the hope that to more and more newcomers will be able to transition from renting to owning, and with as minimum friction point as possible. And that's what we do. I'm very happy for the discussion, and hopefully, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask through the chat function. I'm very looking forward to our discussion here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that very beautiful and welcoming introduction to Requity Homes. So I'm going to ask a few questions here and feel free to elaborate on that because I've gotten a few questions from some people. They want to know more about this Requity Homes and how that affects them as individuals or newcomers. So I guess we can start to walk rent to own program works in Canada, especially for newcomers. For some reason, the system keeps going off and on, but I think it's just whatever.
Yeah. I can hear you, no issues. Your screen was frozen for a bit, but that's no problem. I can hear you, no problem at all.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Um, if it does happen, just give me a thumbs up so that I can change my audio settings. But yeah, like the first question, could you explain the rent to own programs for newcomers who are in Canada?
Yeah, absolutely. So, rent to own, just like the name suggests, you will be renting a house of your own choice and for up to 3 years. And whenever you do qualify for a mortgage, we'll sell the home back to you. So, that's kind of a conceptually how that works. And if we take a step back, generally speaking, in Canada, if you want to own a home, you had to qualify for a traditional mortgage because no one has cash to buy the homes upfront. And it's very difficult to get a mortgage nowadays. Your Canadian status, the down payment, the credit, your income, and also the type of income. Because if you're self-employed or you don't have guaranteed hours, the lender is required to have 24 months of income history. So generally, it's not that easy to qualify for a mortgage, even though a lot of newcomers out there are financially capable. And so what we do at Requity Homes is that we give you this stepping stone where we get you approved based on your current cash flow, and we give you a budget. Then you go out home shopping. So any house is available for sale in the market we operate, we can buy it for you directly from the seller and then essentially become the landlord. And then the clients will rent the home from us for up to 3 years. We work with our clients to help them get ready for mortgage. We report the rent to credit bureau. We provide personalized education around budget coaching, credit coaching. The ultimate goal is to help our clients transition into a traditional mortgage so that the title of the homes transfer to our clients, they become homeowners, and we're out of the picture. So that's kind of a not so high level, but a little bit with a little
Yeah.
bit more detailed overview.
Mm-hmm. That's good that you're giving us that little bit of information. But when it comes to being eligible for the rent to own program, what are the criteria?
Yeah, so to qualify depends on the city where clients live. Different city have the home price are different, but generally we need a minimum $70,000 household income per year, and the clients need to have a minimum 2% down. And they have minimum credit score of 500. If they don't have a chance to build up the Canadian credit history, no problem at all. And that's kind of the general requirement. As long as you have enough income, and we can find a house for you in the budget you're looking for in the cities that you're looking for, then you'll be a great candidate for our rent to own program.
Okay, so you mentioned they need to have an income of at least 70,000. Is that right?
Correct. Generally speaking, in
So
some cities, some
generally
cities,
speaking, okay.
yeah,
So
in some
anything,
cities, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I think there was a bit of lagging, so I don't mean to talk at you, but please go ahead.
yeah. So I was going to ask, so if they have less than 70, they can't qualify, correct?
Generally speaking, yes, unless the cities they're looking for, you can find a house for $200,000, and we also operate. Then we need a lower income. That's okay. So the reason we use 70,000 as a bare minimum, generally, if the clients don't have too much debt, the home price range they can approve for is roughly 4.5 times their income. So for a seventy
Oh, I
thousand
see.
dollar house,
Yeah.
$70,000 household income, that usually means around, give or take $300,000 price range. If for most cities, I mean, forget about Toronto. For some of the most cities we operate, you can find a house for 300,000. However, if you live in a different city we happen to operate, and you can find a
Hmm.
house for 200,000 rather than 300,000, then the income required will be much less. If you have 60,000, that might work as well.
Okay, so would you be able to tell the audience those areas where they can find those homes at a relatively better deal than other places that could be higher?
Well, it is a great question, Gloria. I got asked a lot, and I always tell people it is hard to say because, yes, you can find a house for 200,000 online, but is that house going to be suit your family needs, right? If you think about it, hypothetical, you live in, let's say you live in, I don't know, Sault Ste. Marie right now. Would you be willing to
Hmm.
relocate to a city that's really, really further away? Now you have to find a new job to settle down, right? So I would say
Yeah.
generally the easiest way, if anyone's curious what a home price range in my area is costing you, just go to realtor.ca, put it in the city, the
Yeah.
address where you live, and you can see all the houses available for sale in the surrounding area, and you will be able to see what the price range that is. And we only do freehold properties, so no condominiums, no apartments.
Okay. Free is okay. So it can't be a condo and it can't be an apartment.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, I hope you are taking notes because you can't say you found a condo apartment and you want to get into the rent to own program. It just won't work with the Requity Homes. Now, I know you mentioned something about credit score. So for somebody who is a newcomer and has not built credit, how does that work for them?
That's totally fine. Because for what we do is we basically will look at your cash flow situation, be like, hey, how much is your income come in, and we'll ask you, when did you arrive? If you happen to arrive recently, or somehow you arrive in the country for a while, but you never had anything in your name, right? Where we found sometimes a partner. Has nothing in the name because everything's in the wife's name. Cell phone bill, credit card, whatever. So the person actually has no credit history. We just tell them, no big deal, don't worry about it. And we will give you some tips advice later on so you can establish your credit history over time and then you can transition from renting to own.
Oh, that's nice. So, in terms of the next question now, it says like, are there going to be things like deposit fees or any sort of fees that it's required in terms of getting into the rent to own program?
Yeah, so it's not like a fees. We do need a initial down payment deposit. That could be
Okay.
as low as 2% of the home price range. So if the house is $300,000, just as example, 2% of that is $6,000. So it's
We lost you
relative.
there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Uh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's my internet or what. So what I was saying is there's no like a fees to apply for the program. How that works is we do need a minimum deposit or a down payment for 2% of the home price range.
2%.
Yeah, so if the house is $300,000, we will need a $6,000 to start. Again, that $6,000 is not a fee expenses. Eventually, when our clients are ready to buy back home, that 6,000 goes towards their own down payment as well.
Wow, that is good to know. So this is a very funny question, but I still have to ask the question. So, can rent to own help newcomers to build their credit history in Canada?
Absolutely. Yes, they can. The reason for that is we
Wow.
actually report the rent to credit bureau. So every single time our clients pay their rent on time, it actually helps build up their credit score over time.
See, and I thought it was a funny question.
It's not a
So,
funny question at
uh,
all.
I know there's like somebody once told me that there is no silly question. There's always an answer to every question. All right. So, jumping into the next question here, they said, how does the transition to ownership work at the end of the rental period?
Very good question. So, in order to transition from renting to own, that means you need to buy back the home from us. And the most common way to buy a home in Canada is through a mortgage. So, what that means is eventually you do need to qualify for a traditional mortgage so we can sell the home back to you. You can take over the ownership. Unless you win a lottery where you can buy the homes
Hmm.
100% in cash. Yeah, but most common way to transition from renting to own is to eventually qualify for mortgage. That means, build up your Canadian credit history, maybe getting your Canadian permanent resident status, maybe establish your job employment history. So you have longer employment history where the lenders have no issues with your income. That's kind of the most common way to transition into owning.
Okay. So, I guess my next question, just in addition to what you've said, is what will be the time frame, or what has been in your working with clients, what has been maybe the minimum time frame from where the customer was renting and then they bought the home? Can you tell us what the time frame was?
Yes, absolutely. So our standard rental term 3 years, which means you have up to 3 years, but you can buy the home at any time throughout the 3 year term. And there's no penalty fee for buy back home early, and there's no minimum rental month. And I'm very happy to share, on average, our clients it took them about 18 months on average. The fastest, the new record,
Wow.
1 month. And it was a very, I mean, this is not
Oof.
the normal, this is not one of the common like causes, but it just happened that the client, the day they moved into the home, like the closing day they moved into the home, the client actually got two job offers from two different companies that doubled her salary. And it just made and with no probation as well. So it just made it super easy for her to
Wow.
qualify for mortgage.
That is wow. I'm still thinking about how quick that one was for that client. I'm sure they were so happy.
They're very happy, yes.
Okay, my next question is if a participant's financial situation improves or worsens, are there options to adjust the agreement at that point in time?
Yeah, so our agreement is predetermined. There isn't really many things adjustment in terms of the rental payment, the savings, the price. All of those are predetermined. They're not really negotiable. The only thing that except that the term where you can buy the home at any time. So if the client's situation has improved significantly, which means they can buy the home sooner, we always encourage our clients to buy it as soon as possible. If for any reason where the financial situation has changed and rental doesn't make any sense for them, we always say have a discussion with us. Let's figure out a plan and see if there's any temporary solution we can provide. At the end of the day, it is a option to purchase home, not obligation. So the clients can always choose to walk away from the home, have their down payment
Mm-hmm.
savings refunded minus the the transaction fee, the penalty fee, whatever money is left, they can get the money and move on with their life.
Nice. Are participants or individuals able to choose the home themselves? That's I know you mentioned freehold. So are they just able to choose any home, or are they limited to certain properties?
Well, the good thing with our
I
program
guess
is,
it's just the freehold.
yeah, they as long as it's freehold, the clients get to choose which home they want us to buy. So they have 100% say in terms of which house they want us to buy, and
Okay.
any house is available for sale privately or listed through the realtors in realtor.ca. We can buy from the seller directly. So clients get to choose.
Clients can choose. That's good to know. Um, this next question, it says, who will be responsible for property maintenance and repairs during the rent to own period?
Yeah. So we will pay for property tax, landlord insurance during the rental term because we are the owner. In terms of potential repair maintenance, depends on the work required. If it's tenant responsibility cosmetic, then the tenants will have to take care of it. If it's a landlord responsibility, then we will take care of it.
Okay. Sorry, the line just a little bit went fluctuated. I didn't catch what you said.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on here. I'm
No,
having to
maybe it's my internet or it's just with the system.
Okay, let me just repeat the answer. So we will pay for property tax, landlord insurance during the rental term. When it comes to repair maintenance, depends on the scope of the work. If it's a cosmetic deemed to be tenant responsibility, then they will be responsible for that. If it's a landlord responsibility, then we will be responsible for that.
Okay, so Requity Homes would be responsible if it is something that has to do with the property. That's good to
If
know.
it's yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yes, correct.
yeah. Um, does any portion of the monthly rent build equity in the property, or is it solely credited toward future down payment?
Yeah. So how that works, I do want to clarify because I know sometimes the terms can be a little bit confusion. Depends. So
Yeah.
the clients do pay us a fixed monthly payment. Let's use $300,000 home as example. They might be paying us 2,800. Just round it up. So among that 2,800, the rent portion itself is like $2,450. So the other $350 that actually goes
Mhm.
towards the down payment. So what that means
Okay.
is if you started paying us 2,800 for 10 months, then you will have 350 per month times 12 months, $3,500 build it up as your down payment savings that you can actually use when the time comes to qualifying for a mortgage.
Hmm. Good. Thanks for that, for clarifying that. The next question deals with tax related concerns. So the question is, are there any specific tax benefits that goes to the newcomers that participate in the program?
Yeah, so In terms of like whenever the clients are ready to buy back home, the title transfer to their name, whatever the first time
Yes.
home buyer incentives, credits out there for
Credit
typical home buyer,
goes to
they
them.
will be able to leverage that, take advantage of that. So if they can take money out for RSP or first time home buyer savings
Mhm.
plan. So all of that is possible when the time comes to that where the clients can get a mortgage. Now the title is transferring to their name. They will be able to get all the benefits.
Okay, so those are the government benefits that accrue to newcomers for being a first time home buyer. I believe that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. So those are the benefits for first-time home buyers in Canada. Anyone, as long as you're first time buying a home, you'll be able to entitle to those tax benefits, certain incentives, and our clients will be able to get all of that as well at the
All
end
of
of the
that.
rent home term.
Okay. So the next question is has to do with something that happens in the future with their credit. So, how does the participation in the rent to own program impact a newcomer's credit score?
Yeah, I think we already discussed about it. Every single time the clients rent make a rent payment, it helps them
Mm-hmm.
improve their credit score because we
The credit
report the
score.
rent to the credit bureau. In addition to that, I mean, we do provide personalized credit coaching, budget coaching as well, especially for newcomers who just got here, not
Going to
100%
ask that.
sure how that works. We do give them
Yeah.
concrete tips and advice, right? In one of the example I mentioned, the husband has no credit file in his name because
Mhm.
everything was done in the wife's name. His cell phone's in wife's name, the bank accounts, right? The credit cards. So we just told him, hey, you know what? You should get a cell phone bill in your own name, get a credit card in your name and just paid it off, making sure, there's no balance if possible. And yeah, like if they follow advice, just give it like 6 months to a month, they will be able to have established credit history file.
Okay. I know you touched on this, but just to clarify, do you offer those resources on the website or somewhere different that they can get those information from?
Yeah, we off like the services are performed one-on-one. They can find those basic info on our website, but the actual services are performed one-on-one
Okay.
only to our Requity Home customer. So if you're in like, i.e.,
Okay.
they're already part of the rent-on portfolio, we bought a house for them, we offer those services for free. And right now, we don't offer that to others. Where if you're thinking about doing rental, we hopefully over time we'll be able to offer that services. But at this point, we just offer it to the existing customer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I get we're almost getting to the end of our, our live session today, but still just some few newcomer questions. What tips do you have for newcomers who are considering this program, rent to own program, to ensure that they have a very smooth process?
I would say do your homework, do your research, making sure you know what you get yourself into.
Yeah.
And if you ever come to our website,
Mhm.
Gloria will share the link. You can always book a one-on-one
Yeah.
free consultation, just so that you get all your questions answered, and we can explain to you the nitty-gritty detail of the program. It is a great stepping stone. That being said, I always say, hey, it is a big decision, right? Even either own a
Mhm.
home or rent on a home. So you want to make sure it's right for you and your family at this current moment.
Awesome. Um, any last words to viewers today who are in Canada and are newcomers and are planning to, to own their own home? Any advice, suggestion, last final words for them?
I would say, I'm a newcomer myself. I came to Canada in 2010. I know every single one of you is extremely hardworking, like I was. I'm still hardworking today. I would say just yeah, like do your homework, making sure what you get yourself into. If you are not sure, have any questions, reach out to us directly for a one-on-one
Yeah.
consultation. Other than that, just I guess enjoy Canada.
Yes, and welcome to Canada. Yes, we should have said that earlier.
I don't know if some of them may
I guess
not be
that's
in
the
the
first
country
thing.
for too long. Yeah.
Yes, like she said, we are all newcomers, regardless of when we came to the country. We are all newcomers. So, again, I know they must have told you at the airport, but still welcome to Canada. And if you do have any questions about the rent to own program, reach out to me in the comment section. I will drop some links to, so that you can reach out to Amy, and she can start the process. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me again in the comment section, or send me a direct email, and then we'll go from there. So, Amy, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure hanging out with you this afternoon or this evening. Thanks so much for your time. I know time is money and time is precious here in Canada. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity to spend 1 hour with you.
Yeah, no, likewise, my pleasure. And thank you for having me here.
All right. So until we see again, guys, keep watching, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and please feel free to share this information with others. Okay. Until I see you in my very next video, stay safe and bye bye.
Bye for
Bye,
now.
Amy.
Bye. Bye, everyone.